everyone, and welcome to SAMA episode 173, where we will enter the world of quantum healing. SAMA is a program where experts are invited to discuss a topic from their area of expertise. And in this episode, we are delighted to have Dr. Paul Drouin to talk about his insights in quantum healing. Dr. Paul, homeopathic doctor, acupuncturist, Doctor of Natural Medicine and Professor of Integrative Medicine, and founder of the Quantum University in 2002. Dr. Paul devoted more than 20 years of his time practicing as a medical doctor in Canada, exploring both traditional and alternative methods to broaden his knowledge of curative, preventative, and integrative medicine. As a pioneer in his field, Dr. Paul's clinical experience led him to believe that the current healthcare system is in crisis, as it is, and must be reformed by changing how medicine is taught in both conventional and natural medicine schools. Now, Dr. Paul's vision has evolved into Quantum University, the world's largest institute of higher learning, which provides online degrees and certification programs in holistic, alternative, natural and integrative medicine. So today we have Dr. Paul with us. Thank you for coming on to our show.
Thank you to have me on your show, and thank you for your nice introduction too. Appreciate it.
Now, the very first question that most viewers will have right now is, what is quantum healing?
So quantum healing at the end, this process of explaining will end, of course, at Quantum University. The first time this was, I wouldn't say the first time, but the one who coined this term of quantum healing is Deepak Chopra in the 90s. He wrote a book, Quantum Healing, and this was, surprising the whole world, because he was talking about these people who were supposed to die. They have no hope of cure. They have been decounted by the medical system. And then overnight, or after an event where they have this, what he called the leap of awareness, and then kind of an event, aha moment, they were kind of seeing the whole perspective of their conflict related to the disease. And then overnight, some were spontaneously cured. And some, of course, there's many stories. Sometimes was right away or the weeks after. But that is this phenomena called spontaneous healing. He wrote a book about it. And that was the beginning of a journey of this idea of quantum healing. Later on evolved also with Dr. Amit Goswami, that we have as a teacher of quantum physics in our university, where he started to kind of explain more in detail what is this leap of awareness, what is this process of quantum creativity associated with healing. Then he described 4 phases: preparation, incubation, the insight moment, and then manifestation. So more and more we're adding an understanding to this process. But what came, and then this again evolved in what today I call pro-consciousness medicine. It's like a medicine with a greater awareness, because where we are caught today is this kind of medicine that is disease-oriented. Everything is shaped, to come to a treatment. And sometimes I saw in your question, you ask quantum healing. We cannot see quantum healing like a cure. It's not say, you cannot say, oh, what do you heal? What do you treat with quantum healing? We're trying to avoid the treatment. So in other words, it's a greater awareness to look at the whole process. And then this has brought me to Quantum University, because this is where is our challenge. When I was in Canada practicing medicine, I was already doing what I call holistic medicine, integrative medicine, integrating different modality together, homeopathy, acupuncture. And even if I had a lot of success, I had a very successful clinic, but every time they would come to me, my pair, they would say, hey, what you're doing is not scientific. And this is what brought me in over 20 years ago in America to create a university where the challenge was to broaden, the foundation of medicine, because as long the medical curriculum, even some schools in natural medicine are based on what I call a linear model, old conventional physics, you cannot explain how works subtle energy. You cannot explain all, even ancient system like acupuncture or relating to concept like chi, prana, life force. And as soon you cannot explain it with your linear model, then you disqualify everything. In other words, if you're not, I cannot understand it, it's disqualified. So people don't realize, and this is what I wrote in one of my book, Creative Integrative Medicine, we don't realize the price of an limited model of education. So, and this is why during the last 20 years, Quantum University has 20 years now, what we have laid out is a foundation where we have neuroscience, we have quantum physics, trying to explain how works this Saturn energy, how works this other system of healing, because quantum healing, belong to acupuncture, belong to all these systems that were referring to this subtle energy. This is how important it is. So as long as we are caught in a reductional model, even about how to explain biology, determinism, how we relate with the client, we are caught in a model that now is like kind of in crisis. This is what the word you use, but it's more than this, it's doomed because healthcare is not affordable. I come from Canada, social medicine, and not more affordable there because now they're building a parallel private system. And here also is how we practice medicine. This is what is very important. And what are the foundation on which you understand healing. And at the end of the day, where we end is like a model where we start to shift from disease to health potential. And we have dedicated a lot, investment now in create apparatus and lab, to establish diagnose, but nothing done to evaluate what I call health parameters. So I would say quantum healing, of course, was an original idea of Deepak Chopra, Evolve. And then later on, it's like what is merging now is what I call pro-consciousness medicine, a medicine with a larger awareness, a medicine that redefine even the relation between the client and the healer. Usually we call it doctor and patient, but doctor and patient, you realize it's kind of a hierarchical model of relation now. With this new model and these new principle of quantum physics and integrate in the model of healing, like entanglement, you realize that you cannot separate one of the other, even in the process of healing. So we have integrate in the curriculum, principle of quantum physics, like non-locality, entanglement, discontinuity. This is very precious when come the time where you start to, engage with the clients. So that would be my simple way to answer that question, but I can write a book about it. And by the way, if people are more interested to go more in depth, I have blogs on my website, quantumuniversity.com, and you click blog, and I have one saying consciousness. One I wrote about pro-consciousness medicine, healing with consciousness, and they have videos that come with it. So I will invite people to go and visit this, so they understand better the concept.
When you meet a skeptic, how can you convince them that quantum healing is viable? This question, you probably will have me this 20 years ago, because I stopped to argue with skeptic. Because you realize I'm a medical doctor, how many are a skeptic? They are skeptic. Why? In some way also they are biased because their living is based on the answer. So if you have an answer, you try to convince them, then they have to change their way of relating with clients. So you never convince someone who is skeptic most of the time for a belief system, most of the time because you destroy something that is essential for them. So, but I realize as it goes, because 20 years ago,
of course, you know, we start with a small crowd. And as it grows, Quantum University, now we are in 118 countries and over 11,000 students. You have people that already are thinking this way. You already have people that a pocket here and there. And then at the end of the day, you feel Quantum University now is a community of people. It's a family. It's a community of people that is, you know, they are not skeptic. But they look at more science to surround these concepts. They know that they need more depth. And most of them, our students say, hey, what I'm learning here is already what I was thinking. So in other words, you know, people that are already open to quantum physics, neuroscience, the possibility of healing within, they are everywhere. But, you know, now it's like Quantum University, we carry on this concept or this vision of medicine that you don't have to convince people anymore. And then I need to add too, you know, we went through the last 2 years through this pandemic, and this has also shaken also has left a lot of people on the side, people that in some way was expecting other solution to this kind of crisis, open at other idea, question the healthcare system and question science, because most of the time you have people, they were coming with science explaining the phenomena one way and another science would come another way. And people realize, hey, what is science? And how much science is not biased at some point, you know? So the whole healthcare in some way has been a little bit fragile, is more vulnerable. And we are in a time now that people are seeking for something else. They are seeking for health. They're not seeking for another medication or another. So because they realize that if I can enhance my own health potential, you know, I'm probably much better in 20, 30, 40 years. And because this is now the other chapter of what I call prevention, coaching, lifestyle. You realize that many diseases, if you think you eliminate disease coming from lifestyle, nutrition, lack of exercise, lack of and ways to make more people alive, many technique. So you at the end of the day, first you have someone that will be more resistant about the next virus, the next crisis. Nobody questioned the fact that if your risk factor like diabetes and weight, you know, they have a major impact. So in other words, you work as prevention, but we have been very weak in prevention until now, because medicine, the way they understand prevention is like, hey, take this pill, because if you don't take this pill, then you have this disease. We approach prevention with fear. At Quantum University here, we create what we call the exponential healthcare. It's a sophisticated virtual platform where we train coach to be able to work with smartphone technology and the possibility to gather feedback on health parameters. So, and this is kind of new too. In other words, it's like why we were so weak with prevention is like, you know, it's not just to say someone, hey, be virtuous and don't eat this and don't eat that. It's to bring them, you know, a feedback on their state of health that is scaled. You know, scaling is very important, but we know to scale disease, but we don't know to scale health. And smartphone technology, this is what we call the digital medicine today, is a game changer, because you can have a coach connect with a platform like Exponential Healthcare, monitoring the client with heart rate variability, weight, lifestyle, exercise, sleeping, and so on. And just these major parameters can have a huge impact on the outcome in a few years, in 10 or 20 years. This is the only way we can in some way shrink the costs, you know, astronomous costs of healthcare, because what we're doing now is totally emergency medicine. You know, it's like you deal with disease when it comes, then you overwhelm, like in the situation with COVID. You know, this is endless.
If what you're saying is very true, and perhaps the only good thing of this pandemic, the only goodness we can take from this, is that more people are aware of the importance of health and preventing. I'm noticing more people are taking supplements and changing their lifestyle patterns to try and avoid either getting infection.
You see, the way we behave is still relating the way the medicine has teach us. In other words, we try to replace the medication by vitamin, but the way of thinking is still the same. And this is where the pro-consciousness medicine fit in. It's like, I have nothing against taking vitamin, but the whole thing has to be done more holistically with a broader awareness. We need to bring, by example, the notion of health potential, how you can build your health, maintain your health, how you can regenerate, and there we have the technology for that. And it's probably a question you may ask is about the meditation thing or the yoga. There's many exercise. People don't realize that the impact on their energetic potential. So we can visit this later on, maybe, but it is very important. And this is why we're teaching this at Quantum University. We're teaching meditation technique that that has been proven through brain mapping and other means, that are totally efficient to sometimes not only prevent but also reverse, disease.
The diseases that can be reversed through this quantum healing, are they major diseases? Like, for example, if someone has a cancer, a form of cancer, what can this cancer be removed through applying quantum healing methods?
Okay, let's go back to this idea of pro-consciousness medicine, because it's like, hey, I don't want to be here saying, hey, quantum healing cure cancer. This is not how it works, okay? It's a process that is holistic, a process where in some way with a coach, helping with a doctor, and the medical medicine is a partner in this. Many times, in the past, people, they try to oppose one to another. No, what I'm talking here is integrative medicine. So when you see a cancer client, and I was practicing medicine in Canada, but I had the privilege to have also other expertise to look at what I call the bioterrain, what I call the health parameters. So in other words, because this cancer is not like popping from everywhere, it comes from, most of the time it's related, it could be to nutrition, environmental factor, but most of the time also is a conflict factor. And some doctor, there is a lot of science that illustrate that. And even example, you can have someone who has been treated for cancer, but the cancer is not cured because, you still carry on, the genetics, you still carry on the belief system, you still carry on the same lifestyle, the same nutrition. So, it's kind of a short view to say, hey, I cut this, the cancer is gone, I burned the whole thing. But if there is not another work that is done at the same time, the probability that this cancer come back is very high. And by the way, this is one of the greatest fear of cancer patient that has been treated. Do you realize that? It's because they have been cured. Okay, you're free of cancer, but this thing can come back. So in other words, doing this holistic work with a coach that has this greater awareness will also calm down this kind of fear. So, so in other words, it's like, we don't say cure your cancer. It's like you raise the health potential of an individual, working on the bioterrain, improving the nutrition, improving the belief system, improving, and then, the whole thing is taken care by itself. So many, sometimes it could be a spontaneous healing. Dr. Joe Dispenza has documented in this book, placebo, supernatural, you know, and where he will run this seminar, you know, you heard about him, right? Dr. Joe Dispenza. So, and then in this 3-4 days, you know, he tried to build this momentum of leap of awareness. And of course, and there is a lot of testimony that cancer have been cured almost instantaneously. I have a story of one of my students, not one, many, you know, doing the curriculum. One, by example, I post a video, her testimony on the web, on my blog, Healing with Consciousness. So, and then as she went through the curriculum, she built this moment of awareness, this leap of awareness that I'm talking about. But of course, at the same time, she probably also correct her lifestyle. She correct the conflict that was associated, because we have integrated in the curriculum hammer medicine, we have curriculum neuroscience, Dr. Joe Dispenza, we have Dr. Lipton that's work on the belief. So in other words, you build this momentum, and then this phenomena happen. Yes, but you know, people are all the time think when they come to, and I had this in Canada, they come to me because they have a cancer and they don't want to do the chemotherapy, but they think, you know, the work is just taking vitamin C, and then you know, they think the same way that they think. But I don't reproach them, because this is what we learn, you know, for all our life. You know, you're sick, you go to see the doctor, the guy is there, you know nothing, he does everything, and take this pill and the whole thing. But it doesn't work anymore now. People has built this awareness. You more, when you see a client, you're more like on the cell level, you know, your partner with this. And then as you grow this awareness, this medicine of consciousness, you know, any type of healing can happen anytime, because I witness anything. Woman with breast cancer, and I call them heroes in my book of medicine, because they were very brave, you know, at the time where the doctor, you know, when the doctor with his white suit and stethoscope come in the office and say, hey, you have cancer, it's like be condemned, okay? It's like they are boxed where they, at the end of the day, there is nothing possible. Quantum healing, quantum medicine, or a pro-consciousness medicine, it's like you open the box, everything is possible, you know, you not discount. This is the awareness I had when I was seeing my patient, or when I met students coming at the university. Oh, I don't have enough financial, I don't have yeah, it's not about that. It's about your mindset, you know, and then you open the box, and then everything is possible. Yeah, but who knows what is the outcome? Because, you know, it's like, this is what you learn with quantum physics. You learn about this quantum creativity and this process, you know, that in some way every doctor should know, you know, before going in medicine. But this is, they learn, of course, I learned a lot when I was in the medical university, but I didn't hear anything about this, anything about health, anything about how you evaluate the health potential. How can you motivate people to heal? Because the doctor is a kind of a coach, a motivator. When your mind is ingrained to put people in the small box of a diagnostic, at the end of the day, you have like a few either medication or surgery and nothing else. You know, it's like it's more like a medicine of prognostic. You know, you have this disease, you cannot be cured. I have way to temper your symptom. So pro-consciousness medicine is going the other way, and I believe will balance both. You know, you realize that in this COVID time, many doctors has quit the profession. You realize that there is in Canada people, nurses and medical doctors, they didn't go back. They didn't go back in hospital. They are on the fence now. What is my next step? Where I'm going? We're enrolling now this time a lot of nurses, because they kind of you know, have been deceived, and they have invested all their life And now they want to become more this wellness doctor that, that was their first kind of vocation or mission, So, and this phenomenon is huge, it's incredible. You can go online, and I wrote also in blogs, you have stats of people quitting and questioning their career, realigning their, after this crisis.
Right. How you did mention this before, meditation. How important is it to meditate?
Oh yeah, for me, there's years ago, people will laugh at it. Okay, like first they were people doing yoga. This was laughable. Today is part of our culture. I remember, 40 years ago, I was already meditating. I had the opportunity to even go in Switzerland 1 year with the transcendental meditation, the Maharishi. And Maharishi Yogi is a huge contributor. He's an open, he opened the ground. Deepak Chopra learned from Maharishi, but I don't know, very few people know about it, but this is where he learned this quantum medicine. And then a year before I was there, and then I realized the potential of meditation. So this is so important. And then from there, of course, I developed a system of meditation called pro-consciousness meditation. And so because we're talking about health potential, okay? And then quantum physics opened our awareness, the fact that there is, we have a biofield, there is more energy in the nothing than what we see, that in the unseen that what we see. If we could extract, from a centimeter cube of emptiness, you have more energy, to probably nurture the whole planet in energy. If you say, what is the lowest expensive pill that can do the more benefit, meditation is the one. You have 100 studies. One time I done the evaluations, probably more 1,000, but at that time I had 600 studies showing that you meditate, you reduce cancer, you reduce Alzheimer, degenerative disease, all this kind of disease that are, all the medication that they have developed doesn't even come close to help. So in other words, you have this panacea there that in some way it's a technique to extract or harvest energy for your health, because we are energy, okay? And most of the time, because we have this linear vision of who we are, we're just looking at the matter, but no, within, there is this infinite field of possibility where you can re-energize yourself every day. And then if you have the specific technique, because it's not, meditation for me, it's not just like a walk in the park, it's very nice. Sometimes you have this gathering, it's nice. Okay, you walk in the park, you're on the beach. No. There is, if you learn the pro-consciousness meditation, for example, you will learn how to, work with the breath. You will start to work with mantra, specific mantra. You will add also crystal when you do meditation. This is really the next era in meditation, because this even add more potential how to, to get in tune with your biofield. Think about it. Every day you do your journey. You cannot avoid it. There is stress. You will have, you met this person and there was this trauma, this this conflict and this. So in other words, we need to do a kind of hygiene, about our biofield. We can reharmonize this every day. And if you couple this with lifestyle and the coaching courses we're talking about, you have the recipes, to enhance the result of meditation. But the meditation is a core, an effective meditation that has a possibility to transcend. This is very important, because you have to go beyond your physical. You have to go beyond your limit within. So an effective meditation is very precious. We have a problem with the sound. Okay, I hope that answered the question. Okay, did you hear my answer about meditation?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much for that. The problem is my microphone. The speaker's fine.
Okay, and then I just have to say, 40 years ago, journalist walked in my office and he made me an interview. I was kind of very excited about it. And then he wrote a paper because he asked this question about meditation. And then later on, he wrote on the paper, this curious doctor, this strange doctor. But today, yoga, meditation are kind of part of the culture, so.
Strange doctor. That's
everything has evolved, right?
Absolutely. I'm just wondering, the meditation, is it because it's connecting the body to the mind and the body follows the mind?
The body follows the mind, the biofield, because you access your biofield, which is...
Now you're talking as a scientist, but I'm thinking more beyond known science, where for unknown reasons, things can happen purely by thought. You can visualize an impact upon your own body through meditation. This is why I'm asking the question. Do you think that it's because there's more to thought than what just happens between your ears? There's also an effect.
Can you repeat that question? I want to be sure I understand your question.
The power of thought is quite incredible. You can make big things happen just purely through thought without even lifting a finger. I'm just wondering if it's because of the connection between your mind and every cell within your body.
Yeah, my way to answer that is kind of yes, there is a connection between mind and body. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But many people are not necessarily successful just having a thought and making something happen, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
So
Sure.
what makes the power of the thought is how refined is this thought. If you yell, maybe you have an echo, but you will not change the thing. It's like when you start to bring, and this is where meditation, this is what you learn. You bring your state of mind to nothing, silence. Some say you transcend. Some say we'll call it about pure awareness. This is where the thought become powerful. And this is where this technique come along. Because, we create nothing. These yogi, first, they were not just doing posture. They were doing this stretching just to prepare their mind to dive, to dive within. And then when you are in this state of higher awareness, and now we also monitor that with gamma with brain mapping. So this is what we call the gamma wave. When you touch this moment of high coherence, and not the only one to talk about it. Dr. Dispenza, broaden, and many others. This is where we reach this high coherence. So this is important to be teach, okay? Because these spontaneous healing I was talking at the beginning happen when you have this moment of high coherence. And I have another blog I wrote recently, Quantum Coherence. And this is this kind of knowledge that is very important to integrate. So it's not just thinking, it's to rewire your brain. The Homo sapiens, you have to realize, is wired for survival, and if this Homo sapiens doesn't evolve in the next decade by rewiring the brain, learning to transcend, learning how to tap in this infinite awareness that we're talking about, it's, and I don't give, people speak about global warming and all this, but at the end of the day, all these problems can be solved Now they are solved by Homo sapiens that has, they come with political angle and this and that. This is a signature of Homo sapiens. Yeah, I don't know what I am, if you connect what I'm talking about. So in other words, we need to rewire, and this rewiring process is to learn to touch this moment of high coherence. And effective meditation can do that. You know, if you can do this by breathing, it's not just in imagination. So a few years ago, this was very popular, the power of attraction. Okay, this is true, but does it work all the time? And why it doesn't work all the time? Because the first thing people think is like, oh, what I can manifest, a big car, you know, big house, a lot of money. This is the way a Homo sapiens think, okay? All the time in terms of, you know, survive, having more control, more, and so on. So now if we start to understand the quantum physics, we realize that no, what has the most probability to happen is more what is aligned with your deeper self. In other words, it's more deeper is your connection with everything. You have, you know, you can then manifest faster, but what will you manifest is not necessarily ice cream or parking lot. No, it's something that has to do with the core of who you are, your gift, your mission. So this is what you have to be tuned with it. So in other words, yes, a thought can Dr. Dispenza wrote about a book about the power of thought, or the placebo effect. This is what he's talking about. But this is, I go a little bit further. You know, it's like you retrain your mind to be more realigned. You learn, because it's after a time you meditate, you learn when you are in alpha. You learn when you are in theta, delta, when you're sleeping, and you learn and you realize when you are in gamma. Because if you are brain map, and even I had another little app the other day, was with Muse, mine. I don't remember the app. It said I can see if I am in gamma waves. So people think, oh, it's complicated, but no. You know what? How many people have go hours and hours in gym just to beef their muscle? This is not more complicated than that. You know, transcend is probably the easiest thing in the world. So this is. I hope I answered your question.
Oh, you did. But how, it's sounding rather complex, Dr. Paul. How long does it take for someone to learn the principles and how to apply this quantum healing?
First, it's as I said, it's an awareness. It's a culture. You know, I'll depend how far you are from this. You know, some are already. I'm sure a lot of, when I'm talking, a lot of people recognize what I'm talking about, because
yes.
I have hundreds of students. They teach me about it. You know, there is one other day that was posting, I am gamma. And then she was coming with these gamma brain waves, and then how she was being a healer in his family, and her husband changed. You know, it's already out there. You know, it's not how far are you. You can be there like this. You may need some training. Everything needs some way to be learned. If you are kind of a root in this linear model of thinking, and you don't have any benefit to get out of it, because it's very difficult. But if you are, and this is what's most of the time when people are in crisis, they have disease, they are open to something else. Unfortunately, because we should be open before that. But anybody, the kid today, they teach meditation to kids. You know, so it's something. It's not a question of time. I believe, if someone start from zero, never heard about it, I would say maybe 6 months.
Gosh, yeah.
30 minutes a day, Me, when people sign in the university, people see, it would take that many years. to do this PhD. No, in fact, you know, you do one day at a time. This is because in my life study, I've become a medical doctor, an acupuncturist licensed in Canada, homeopath, and someone said, you know, how many life you have? You know, of course I have many life, but you know, I just done a little every day. You know, it's amazing because how many hours you lose in nothing that is worthless, you know? So it's like, it's like now people exercise every day, they you know, they're already integrating this new, and then one more is just, you know, start to train your brain to be rewired, and then you get addicted to it. I have to say, I'm addicted to meditation because every morning at sunrise, I experience bliss. You know, who doesn't want to experience bliss? You know, so it's not a hard one, and you better choose your habits, because you know, they will choose you. In other words, it's like no matter what, you better choose an addiction that is positive than one that, you know, diverts you from the real thing. You know, so no, I think everybody can learn. There is no and this is I have a lot of hope now because we create this what I call exponential healthcare, and this is what we offer now in the in this month as a promo. People, you know, they signed for natural medicine, integrative medicine, holistic medicine, and they get this, all the training, and they could be setting them up on a virtual platform in 6 months and already coaching people. So this is where our time is very exciting too, you know, because everything is shifting. We're talking about things that 20, 30 years ago, people will laugh at it. Now it's part of, you know, it's possible. And not, it's not that, it's we have set up university, the possibility for people to make a career of it, that are recognized, and also can work in the healthcare as a coach. You know, it's pretty exciting. It's very exciting.
Are there any dangers? Are there any dangers in anything that might happen that which is not good when applying quantum healing methods?
Do you know what is the third cause of death? You know, we talk about cardiovascular disease, people, number 2 cancer. What is the third one? This is, we call it pathogenic. It's like allopathic disease. Side effect of medication come in third place for death. And you can check this online. This is not me. I didn't do the research. So is medicine dangerous? Yeah, because there is no therapy you do without side effect. You know, so there's all the time a price. You have to choose between, it's a balance. Here I have this disease. Maybe I have less effect with this medication, then you choose between two. But in the process, you know, many error will be done. So it is allopathic medicine dangerous? Yeah, it is. You know, it's like, it's not I'm not the only one to say it. And I love medicine. Don't take me wrong. I'm a medical doctor. Medicine is my life. It's a passion. But the medicine we're talking about, quantum healing, yes, there's no side effect. Okay, you can just grow your inner potential. You know, you can blossom in who you are. It's like there is no side effect. You know, it's like you learn about yourself. You grow in awareness. You're more aware of your conflict. You know, as you grow, you become, you acquire qualities of what I call innate intelligence. You know, it's like if you are a believer, you will be a better believer. If you are, you know, no, there is no side effect. There is no too much of this. No, it's like there is not enough. So no, there is no side effect to quantum healing. You know, it's like it's integration.
If a person had
and then find me a study where you found, hey, I had a side effect when I was meditating. I have no. No, it's like accessing something that in some way should bring you more holistic, you know?
Can anyone cause harm to someone else through this quantum mechanism?
Okay, knowledge is very important. Competence is very important. This is why we educate people, you know?
Yes.
When you get at Quantum University, we have like PhD, doctor in natural medicine, integrative medicine. These people go through, you know, a curriculum that prepare them to this, okay? People that doesn't have knowledge, yeah, can abuse it, you know? Some people that will kind of manipulate people because they are sick and they make them believe. So it's like, it's not, you know, in bed in something that is professional, you know, with ethics. So this is very important because when something has happened bad, it's because the one that were doing it were totally incompetent. They didn't know what they were talking about. You know, it's like, this is why I have a lot of respect, you know, to the education process. You know, knowledge is powerful, but a right knowledge, you know, is like, and but what we have as medicine today is not a complete knowledge. In your totally neuroscience, we know when you're in that totally what is coming from quantum physics, it's like we have a partial view to define healing, and then we eliminate anything that is not in this linear thing. Then this is dangerous. But the other way around, you need to have the whole perspective. So this is why we have said, and these, when people become a doctor at Quantum University, it may take 4 years, 3 years, all depends, it's self-paced. But at the same time, you know, they can, this is the way we have created our model of education. So, but one problem with education today, people say invest themselves in something at the end of the day they are in debt, they don't have job, or even today, if you invest as a nurse, many of them quit. They don't want to practice anymore in the system. So in other words, we can already at the beginning become a coach, and of course, board certified liability insurance. You know, it's professional. We're talking about the professional level now. You belong to professional organization, and as it goes, they grow. You know, you can pay off their scholarship, their tuition. That is probably 1/4 of the other university. So we have a way to, you know, organize the process of growth of our student that is safe, because, you know, it's like and this is what, when I came 20 years ago, I started to talk at these associations. One was a association of naturopathic medicine. I said, hey guys, you know, we need to be more professional, because they were very critic of the medical system. But on the other way aside, they most of the time they were practicing without ethics. You know, they were looking like seller of products and you know, of magical result. And you know, how many have you seen of that? I'm not saying it's bad, but they think because it's natural, all is good. No, it's, you know, this has also to be filtered, and the people who use it, they need to be educated. You know, because medical doctor and nurse, these people go to rigorous training with ethics, you know, professionalism, and, you know, there is a way to, and this was some way lacking a few years ago, you know, and this is why we have been sure that Quantum University, we have ethic course, and we have, you know, board certification, and, you know, everything is and now what's the phenomena that is happening now is healthcare is looking, they're looking.
Now, do you think emotional trauma and emotional scars can help create the environment for a disease? And it's a two-part question. And if so, can quantum healing resolve that?
Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You know, many diseases, chronic diseases, they are related to some past trauma.
Yes.
And then we have to revolve that. But is this will be resolved sitting on the couch of a psychiatrist for 30 years? And this is when I talk about this spontaneous healing, this moment of a high coherence, this is more important to learn this kind of access to another way to look at your reality. In other words, it's like you maybe have went to trauma, but at the end of the day, if you have you go beyond, you have a broader perspective of the whole event. And this is most of the time when these conflicts are resolved, you can move on and grow from this conflict. Most of the time, the trauma is seen as a stepping stone, to make you evolve. So, and some people just get caught in the trauma forever, and you nurture it, and they become a victim of it. So it's all teach, in our curriculum. And Dr. Dispenza is probably the one that has revolutionized the whole process, of changing your awareness, and rewiring your brain, creating a new persona, and there's technique to do it that are faster than the whole process before. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Quantum healing, or you call quantum healing, I call that consciousness medicine, is part of it. It's part of it. We are, we are whole, and our past, the genetics, belief system, is all tied together.
Now, through our discussion today, I can tell that you're a very highly driven man. You've gone through allopathic medicine training, and then you've gone on a bit of a tangent, which is great. You've got a very open mind. But what drove you to opening a university, creating from nothing? This is quite a quantum leap. Okay, sorry for the pun, but it's quite a huge leap for you to do. Was there any particular moment that made you decide, no, people need to be formally taught?
Okay, everyone has like a starting moment, right? I was 18 years old at that time. I come from a family of three boys, one girl, and then the youngest was sick of osteosarcoma of the skull. So, and I witnessed him dying from 15 to 17 when I was 16 to 18. And actually, this is the moment where you take your decision, right? What I will do in life, whatever. This is when I decide to go in medicine. And then a few years later, I went in medicine. But the sparkle of all this, that was like a quest to understand disease and to come with, of course, a doctor want to heal, they come to cure. And then I practiced medicine for 7, 8 years, and I realized that the answer is not there. Okay, so and my search, like this motivation so strong. So in other words, I explore all other type of medicine. I went to Switzerland because in some way I felt that meditation was very important. Already in the 70s, they were speaking about meditation, consciousness, quantum physics, and many of these people that were there at that time are still around here. Deepak Chopra is one of them. And so that motivation was very, very, very strong. And then I practiced medicine in Quebec and acquire all these extra medicine, acupuncture, and then, I was licensed, nothing, homeopath, board certified by a French school, 4 or 5 years of homeopathy, because in some way I could not do anymore. You see kids, winter coming all the time with otitis, and then, a regime of antibiotics after a regime of antibiotics. And I found that homeopathy can do the same. Pain with acupuncture and so on. So in other words, I start to build a medicine that is integrative. So in other words, that is also medical. I could have the lab, I could see. And then on the other side, I have other tools to address these issues. And then I was kind of temporary. nothing stopped me. I would go Germany in this convention, learn about Korean photography. Today's the biowell thing. I would go in United States in Germany for microscopy, like live blood microscopy. So I will also surround myself with tools that would give also a look of what I call these health parameters. In other words, people will come to me, and most of them people come to me is because they have exhausted everything. They have seen the specialist, nothing to do, we cannot do anything. Then they come to me, and of course I had other solution, and be aware that doctor doesn't. The rate of success is not high. It's like, because most of the time it's symptomatic. I'm not saying we don't have success with medicine. Yes, we have, and I applaud that. But there's many left, that they don't solve things. So in other words, when you cure, you help one, then this one bring 10 more. And at the end of the day, I had to practice like 10,000 patients. That was crazy. They were coming from everywhere. And I have like whatever. And then as it goes, of course, my peer, this is what I told you. They start to ask me questions, oh, you're doing non-scientific, no. And then this is, again, all the same moved by this deep motivation of the death of my brother. It's unconscious, you don't think about this every day. Mm-hmm. But then that was my mother, in other words, then came in America. And then I saw this kind of vulnerability. I say, as long, this is teaching university, the limited view of medicine, you cannot get out of this. You have to broaden this. And one of the courses I'm very proud of it at Quantum University is subtle anatomy, holistic anatomy. Because think about it, has put medicine on the birth of medicine is when they start to dig in the ground and look how the body is done. Human anatomy, physiology has been the ground to birth medicine. Agree or not, but this is probably true. You look at this, it's like, when we start to understand the mechanic thing, then we have something to grab it. Now what is missing is subtle energy anatomy. So nothing has been done with this. So we start to lay out holistic, we call that holistic anatomy, but it's how the energy works, how these acupuncture meridians, and now the biophoton is, and the thing, and then now we're not too far from medicine, because they're already talking about biofield. This term has been coined recently. You see them in the textbook. So in other words, to birth this quantum healing medicine or quantum medicine, this would be necessary. This is what I thought. I said, we need to lay out what we have in science, in the research, that can illustrate how energy works. So, and then we have this course part of our curriculum now. I'm very proud of it. Not saying it's perfect, but at least we lay out, how energy works and how it relates with biophoton and light, and you have also inner energetic circulation, Taoist, that Taoist medicine helped you understand, and so on. So I don't know, what was your question? So where to start? So yeah, you need a deep motivation. That's a quest. Yes. To understand. And at the end of the day, at the end of this quest, it's consciousness. It's like, if you don't grab what is consciousness, and by the way, I have another blog written on that. It's like it's the end. Is the end of the route. It's like, and how you learn about consciousness. You need to meditate. It's not something you can explain. It's something you can experience. And this is what, again, I come back to meditation. This is the way, the path to grab or experience. What is it? So,
Right. So my understanding of quantum healing is there's no hardware. You don't need a machine or anything.
Okay, yeah. So this is another. I saw this question in your. You don't identify quantum healing to a machine. Okay. But quantum physics. What is the view of quantum physics? In other words, is the relation between the object and the observer. So because I work with this quantum machine too, you know, let's say quantum biofeedback. And as it goes, I realize that the healer is not outside of the intention. So in other words, I realize that greater is the awareness of the healer, more result you will have when you use this kind of tool. Any one of them that has kind of connection with healing, like the quantum. I saw quantum biofeedback people, some be very successful, some be incredible successful because they were really, you know, kind of in this trilogy, you know, in this circle, in this entanglement with them, the client, you know, they were the machine become like the tool, I would say this, what is collapse, the healing. But sometimes we empower the machine. You think, you know, okay, I click here and boom, the thing happened. No, it has to, you have to understand the awareness. If you don't, again, if you don't embrace this full consciousness medicine, you can have all the tools in the world. And I had a lot in my toolbox. This is what I wrote one day. I said, what was most important for me is not all the toolbox, the tool I have in my toolbox is the awareness that I gain in the process to learn them, you know, like acupuncture. Okay, this is amazing. When I was with the teacher, you know, people will put a needle, like they put a nail, right? And then you have these acupuncture that they are master, okay? The way they move the needle, you know, in and out, the awareness they have when they do the movement, you know, change everything to the result. And this is what I'm teaching also in my curriculum. It's like I call that consciousness acupuncture. And instead to use needle, we use crystal. Crystal can do even better because they carry the intention of the healer. And so it's an acupuncture with awareness. It can make miracle. But the one that has no, you know, all the time thing protocol, because the way I was trained in medical school with acupuncture is like, hey, you know, don't believe this Chinese, you know, theory, or it just has to do with endorphin, and here you have a shoulder pain, boom, 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 there, you know, no. This is the one that the master won, you know. And by the way, even in the past, this Chinese school, you know, that will train people. The first class was a Tai Chi class. You know, not, you know, you start to do to needle the body, just the Tai Chi, just to feel the movement that, you know, you capture and then you transmit this in the healing. And needle is one of them. You can use crystal. You can use whatever, you will have success. But, you know, of course, some devices are better tuned now because they work with more subtle energy. Yeah, you recognize that, absolutely. But without awareness, we have another doctor trying to fix things. This is what we have. We have a client that is, you know, doesn't want change, doesn't want necessarily change a lifestyle or the way they think, because what creates this is most of the time is our belief system, the way our lifestyle. If you master this, you probably have like 2% left, you know, disease. You know, it's like a lack of knowledge, you know, so I don't know.
Lack of knowledge.
Huh?
A lack of knowledge in the population, and then the quantum university is born. So if people do want to learn more about quantum healing, they can go to your website, which I believe has been posted on this video. And
universitywelcome.com, and then every month we have like a special, you know, but not discount, but tuition. And we have people coming from all backgrounds, okay? And when we take them where they are and we build them, some come, you will be amazed. So, and our students are kind of incredible. They are very, you know, motivated. They are excited about life. They still believe in healing. We have a great community. I'm all the time impressed from everywhere, you know.
Right. There have been comments or questions coming through from people saying for their specific problem how quantum healing can help. But I think really it's best to go to the website and connect directly with the people there and go through.
Come on our website, quantumuniversity.com, go around, you know, read my blog, communicate with an admission advisor if you're interested in the program. You will see the promo. Our website is built now for many years. You will find everything. You will find the faculty. Just go around. It's a very nice environment, you know. And then I want to also mention, you know, about meditation. We create another website called projectnosphere.com. We have a community now every day, 2,000 people meditating on the intention of heal yourself, heal the world. It's very dear to us, you know, because I believe, you know, if you have a collective group of people meditating in the same way, and this has been proven, you know, you can have an impact on collective consciousness, which is very needed today, because today the world is going through a crisis. We need to raise awareness, consciousness, you know, that's the way, so that people can have deeper perspective and not necessarily just polarize on one side or the other. So I believe strongly. And then as we grow in consciousness, then we become more creative. And then out of this creativity will come solution for problem of energy and everything. So this is the hope for the future.
Dr. Paul Drouin, I'd like to thank you for your time on our show. I'd like to thank you also for sharing with us the knowledge that you have, the wealth of experience and expertise you have in the field of quantum healing. I know that most people that would have watched this video will be now scratching their heads and they'll be wanting to learn more. Now, the website links to the university has been posted in the chat box for the online participants and will be posted beneath the video in the description. So thank you very much for coming onto our show. It's been a very riveting interview.
Thank you.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Keep on passing the love forwards. Wonderful. Well, thanks for coming onto our show. It is greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, Dr. Paul Drouin, an expert in quantum healing. Thank you very much for watching this video and participating, asking the questions that came through. Didn't have a chance to answer all the questions because we went a little bit overboard with the time, but all the best interviews do. I was intrigued to discover that most of the healing is actually from here. There's no special machines required. It's really the power of thought. And it's something I really do strongly believe in. I've seen so many cases where people have accepted their disease, their condition, their illness, and they die. And I've seen people that haven't accepted it and they lived a fruitful life. And what Dr. Paul has done is he's expanded that further and is using the power of consciousness to heal he's taking this to a new level. So it's very interesting and it's given me something to think about for the next few days, certainly. Well, thank you once again for watching. Keep on passing the love forwards. It's what the world needs more now is love. But don't just love people that you know, people within your family. Extend that love further out. The world has become polarized. This country versus that country, this family versus this family. Things in life are never black and white. And there's goodness all around us. We just have to open our eyes and see it. But there's also goodness from within, and we've got to share that with others to let this goodness grow. So thank you for spending your time to watch this interview, and Yeah. Just see if you can make between now and then. I'll set some homework for you. You should have turned off. I'll set some homework between now and the next summer. Think of what change you can make, a positive change to the people that are around you. Nice and simple. And report back to me later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.